Paranormal Pete, and I'm on a journey to seek answers to the questions that have crossed all of our minds. What happens to us when we die? Is there an afterlife? I'm a regular guy who discovered the gift of psychic mediumship in my 30s. My passion for history and the unknown have put me right here, right now. My mantra for anything paranormal is, we don't know much and anything is possible. Join me as we find our way through the stories, evidence, and experiences of the paranormal and beyond in search of answers, even if that leads to more questions. Are you with me? Hey everybody, welcome to the Paranormal Pete Show. I'm your host, Pete Orbea, and we're on episode 97 here on WLTK-DB.com. Super excited for tonight. Some good friends in the paranormal here, football rivals, but good friends. And I'm sure there will be lots of football jokes going on tonight. But we got Jason and Mariah Hassler from Big River Paranormal on tonight. So I'm super excited to talk to them about the Oregon Ghost Conference and some of their other investigations and experiences in general. So big shout out, Todd Bates, station manager here. He's really built this thing up. Started with 4 shows, and now we're up to like 28 shows. Ranging from true crime to cryptids to self-healing to anything paranormal. So a ton of great content every week coming out of the station here. And if you go through the website, WLTK-DB.com, right on the home screen there, you're going to see a new function of syncing the station's calendar to your calendar. And so you'll never miss your favorite show. You'll see what's coming up every single week. Which is great with so much content going out there. It's nice to have that. Or you can download the station app. Just go to wherever you download apps and type in the station name, WLTK-DB. And of course, you can find me on the socials on Facebook /Paranormal Pete Show. But welcome. If you like the intro music, that's my band, Steady Rock Cosmonaut. There's my shameless plug for the band every week. Check out steadyrockcosmonaut.com. Yeah, well, I'm really excited. This weekend is the Oregon Ghost Conference. Go to OregonGhostConference.com if you haven't yet and check it out. Tickets are really affordable. It's in Seaside, Oregon, and in the big convention center. And I'm hoping for some good weather this weekend because it's a lot of fun when we go to Seaside. For all the ghosties head out there. It's a lot of fun. So OregonGhostConference.com. And I'll be speaking on this Friday at 4. And I hope you can catch my presentation. I'm calling it Connections with Spirit. And we're kind of taking a look at, we know the effects of the dead on us, especially if you're out investigating the paranormal and going into a lot of different locations. But on the flip side also, how could we, the living, be affecting the paranormal and the ghosts? So kind of looking at it from both sides, how they affect us and how we could affect them. And so I hope you'll find that interesting. It's been a really fun topic to kind of suss out here. It's a lot of personal experience. My own personal experience and what I've experienced as a medium. So I think it should be interesting, and it's been fun to put this presentation together. So that's Friday at 4, and then I'll be in the vendor area all weekend. I'm going to be in the psychic readers area there all weekend. So stop by my booth, say hello, get a reading, hang out, and I'll have some save the dates for the upcoming Port Gamble Ghost Conference, which is going to be November 10th through 12th. And a big shout out to the guests tonight, Jason and Mariah from Big River Paranormal, because they do a lot to help out at the Port Gamble Ghost Conference. And we'll probably talk some Port Gamble stuff too tonight. Some housekeeping. Next week, I don't have a show. I'm taking the week off, but I'll be back in April, and then just a few more episodes to episode 100. So I'm really looking forward to that. OC Paracon Can you tell I like supporting the ghost conferences out on the West Coast here? ocparacon.com. That's down in Anaheim. It's the first weekend in October, and it's a 3-day conference, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So they're making a lot of speaker announcements and really gearing that up. So that's ocparacon.com. I've got one more regularly scheduled ghost walk and special investigation here in Port Gamble. I think my ghost walk is on April 8th and special investigation on the 15th. I may do some couple of special summer dates or late spring into summer dates. So keep your eyes tuned to portgambleparanormal.com right here on my hat. That's where you can get tickets for that. I'm taking part in a fundraiser for Mission 22, which is benefits veterans and mental health. That's Mission 22, and partnering up with Debbie Romero from transcendwithdebbie.com. And it's going to be from 9 to 3, a bunch of different mediums coming on and doing readings for little short blocks. So I think I'm on at 1:45 on May 20th. So you can get your tickets by making a standard donation to Mission 22, and then you get the link for the event. So you want to go to transcendwithdebbie.com for that. I'll get it up on my website soon. And recently did a virtual gallery reading last Thursday with Debbie Romero, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of great messages came through, and sounded like much needed messages or ones that were people have been asking about. So that was a lot of fun. So next time you get a chance to be a part of a virtual gallery reading, check it out. You may like the in-person experience, but it's almost the same. Virtually, you just get to be under a blanket on your couch instead of sitting in a chair somewhere. So but that's what I got coming up. Again, Oregon Ghost Conference this weekend. Super excited to be speaking on Friday at 4 and hanging out all weekend, meeting new people, seeing old friends. And I'm leading a tour Friday night. Rocky and I are both doing a tour in Seaside there. So I'll be doing the downtown and Broadway tour, which is a lot of fun. We've had some experiences on the tour that are really weird. Some that I can't explain. I don't know if it's paranormal, but just can't explain it. So looking forward to doing the tour as well. So go to OregonGhostConference.com. So folks, we got a couple people checking in. McKenna. Hey, McKenna, watching from YouTube. Comment wherever you're watching from. Say hi. Where you're from. Are you going to the Oregon Ghost Conference this weekend? Let us know, and just type in the whatever comment box on whatever streaming service you're watching from. And if you have a comment or a question, we'll get that up there as well. And then we have Michelle saying, hi, Mariah, mom is watching. So, all right. Well, we haven't even brought them on yet. Let's do that right now. We got Jason and Mariah tonight. They are a father-daughter duo working as the director and the assistant director and historian for Big River Paranormal in Portland, Oregon, which is a part of the Taps family. Jason has been working on the team for 5 years, and Mariah has been on the team for 3. They've both been interested in the paranormal since childhood after having experiences as children. Jason also hosts a podcast called Hassling the Paranormal, which we're going to be talking about tonight as well. You want to be sure and go check that show out if you haven't yet. But let's give a big Paranormal Pete show welcome to Jason and Mariah. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for coming on tonight and taking time out of our busy lives. I'm always grateful for people to take the time and come on and share experiences. And what have you been up to lately, whether it's ghost related or not? Anything fun?
Not a whole lot of ghost stuff. We did have the fundraiser at Underbar for my friend Sarah, and that was last month with McKenna. And we did that, and then we got some investigations coming out next month, but nothing this month because of the conference.
Okay. Yep, gearing up for the conference. What's the Underbar like? I've heard about it. I've never been there.
It's a pretty cool place. It's relatively small, probably holds about 50, 60 people.
Okay.
It's they host paranormal events every once in a while. It's they host all sorts of stuff, comedy, drag shows, all sorts of stuff.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, so they, what is it like? Once a month on Sundays, they isn't that with what's his name? Davis, Jeff Davis. He
Oh
does the
yeah,
paranormal. He
the
did. That's where he does.
paranormal
Yeah,
pub. Okay.
yeah. That's where
Oh,
he does
that's where it
that.
is. Okay.
Yes. And then
Cool.
I know McKenna's doing some. I think it's like the third Sunday or Saturday or Sunday, I believe, of each month. She does readings there as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's cool to see venues that you know more venues allowing paranormal events. I think that just keeps getting better and better each year. And have you guys? Well, let me just ask this: as a team, do you guys ever like look for a location, like say a historic location? Do you guys ever approach people to do an investigation?
I do. We don't ever approach residentials because we don't want to scare people. But
Right.
yeah.
Not that
Hi.
there are houses that we want to.
Yeah. Just knock on the door and be like, "Hi, do you have any ghosts?" Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will approach places that have rumored haunted, stories and that kind of stuff and ask about going
Yeah.
in.
How have you found from the person you're requesting, like how do they receive that? Is it seem to be easier now than 5 years ago when you started on the team?
I go in with a different perspective. So I'll go in and I will talk to the person about their location and the history of their location. I won't go in there and say, "Hi, do you have ghosts?" I'll just go in there and talk to them about the history of their location. And, people will talk about their place all day long. So you'll just let them talk and listen and take note of what they're saying and then tell them who you are. And then they'll go, "Oh, hey, yeah, we've had some paranormal experiences here." And then you just kind of say, "Hey, you
Yeah.
ever thought about having a team come in?" And then that's usually how you get it done.
It's funny how it's history that really brings non-paranormal people and paranormal enthusiasts together
For
Mhm.
and
sure, yeah.
and talking about history. And it really is. I mean, that's how in Port Gamble it was. I was fascinated with the history first and then started hearing about all the ghost stories. And so I think that's a great way. That's a good approach. I think that's not
Yeah.
aggressive. I think there are teams out there that probably are kind of aggressive about getting into a place. And so that's cool that you have a take a different approach. It seems to me a lot more professional that way.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
you get to know somebody first before you drop the ghost card.
yeah, drop the ghost mic, right?
Yeah.
By the way, yeah, we got another person checking in. Good friend of the show, Michael Laciana. Hey, buddy. Hope you've been doing well. Thanks for
Hello,
watching.
Michael.
Um, Great paranormal investigator. He's got some really cool stuff. Well, I wanted to talk about the Oregon Ghost Conference tonight. And what you guys are doing. Like I mentioned in my show intro, thank you again. You guys are always a huge help for the Port Gamble conference and cover so much ground for
Yeah.
the investigations. That's great. That's a
It's a
huge
lot of
help to
fun,
me.
yeah.
We love
Yeah.
it.
Well, thank you. It's very much appreciated. And so, what are you guys going to be doing for the Oregon Ghost Conference this year? Because you've been helping out there every year as well. So, what do you got going on?
You want to take that one, Mariah?
Yeah. Well, this year we have been asked to help with the Bridge Tender, which is a bar in the Seaside. And there's been lots of like different experiences with kids, I guess, there. And I guess
Yep.
there was a fire in the areas that they might be connected to. So it'll be interesting to see what experiences people have with that.
Yeah. I haven't been on the investigation inside the bridge tender. I was in the that little adjacent building that's
Mm.
connected to it. I've been in there, but conference director Rocky Smith was saying that they only open up the upstairs for the Oregon Ghost Conference. So,
I've
Oh,
heard
that's
that,
really
yeah.
uh,
cool.
yeah, so I'm excited to see what you guys think up there because I've heard all kinds of spooky things about the the upstairs there, and you don't really know until you experience it for yourself. So that's really cool. We got a couple more people checking in. Barbara's checking in. Hi, Pete,
Hey,
Jason,
Barbara.
Mariah.
She's a
Hey,
team
Barbara.
member.
Yep. Thanks for watching. Yep. She's always helps at the Port Gamble conference. And Michael saying, hi, everyone. Pleasure to meet you. Meet everyone. Yep. Right on. Michael, I got to get you on the show again soon. So stay tuned for that. Um, so if the Bridge Tender is a pretty popular place in Seaside. You know, there's a lot of people going in and out of there. There's going to be a lot of people at the conference. And, you know, from helping out with the investigations in Port Gamble, a lot of people are coming through.
Mhm.
There's a lot of different, different levels of experience. There, people have no experience. That's great. Get them interested, right? There's people with a lot of experience. When you guys are leading an investigation in a situation like that, is there like, do you kind of go over, do you tell everyone like, do you have like a elevator speech of like protocol, or, they can get pretty crazy, right? Everyone's, they get
Yeah.
amped up and they're
Mhm.
excited. Like, what do you guys do as a team on your investigations to kind of help mitigate that and kind of keep somewhat of a controlled area?
I do like to speak with everybody before we just turn them loose, of course, and just talk to them about respecting the location is the most important, and each other, and just letting them know what the ground rules. We don't allow provoking, that kind of stuff. So that way they're not screaming and yelling and dropping the F word and that kind of stuff. And
Come at me, bro.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, we won't talk about that guy, but yeah, but but yeah, I would let them know, here's, the ethical and moral ways of doing this, and this is how we do it. And I usually talk to them about if they brought any equipment with them, go ahead and feel free to use it as long as it doesn't interfere with everybody else's experience, and just make sure everybody's being respectful of each other and the space.
Right, right. I think that's a great way to go, and it kind of helps everybody kind of reset what they're doing, and it's common sense stuff that you're saying.
Yeah, but you always have that one guy every single time. And
And
a
I
lot of
usually am the one that has to deal with it every single time.
it always happens on Mariah's team for sure. Yeah.
Every
Oh,
single.
oh, well, you're the lucky one then.
Good thing I
Yeah.
deal with Jason my whole life, so
Oh,
that
there you
he
go.
prepared me well.
There you go. Yeah, I had on one of my investigations here in Port Gamble, we were listening and being quiet, and I was asking a question every once in a while, and we were just really trying to listen. And after a while, I started to hear someone snoring, so I turned my flashlight on, and one of the guys there totally had fell asleep, sitting on the floor there, just cutting logs.
We do have a teammate that's done that, but I won't call Ian out or anything.
Hey, when you get in those late night hours, sometimes it's tough, if you
Right?
if you didn't get sleep earlier in the day. But so you kind of go over. We got another couple comments here. Aaron Nielsen, thanks for watching. Hi, Pete, Mariah, and Jason. Thanks for
Aaron.
watching. And yeah, Michael knows what we're talking about. He's Michael. Have you fallen asleep during an investigation? No, it's cool that you guys say that common sense type of stuff. Have you guys investigated the bridge tender before?
No. In fact, I've only been there once, and it was just to hang out during the conference. I haven't investigated there at all.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of good that you're kind of going in fresh then with it.
Yeah, I don't actually know anything about it. Mariah's looked up some stuff, but I've decided that I'm just because I don't usually get to go in blind because being
Yeah,
the case manager and director, I
yeah.
always have to know what's going on. So I'm like, I'm going to go in blind this time.
Yeah, you're usually doing interviews. Mariah,
Yeah.
do you do interviews for cases as well?
Yeah, we a lot of times will go in before together, and we will conduct the interview together. We'll see the hot spots. They'll kind of tell us what's been going on, while our team waits outside so that they can remain blind.
Yeah. Well, so that's cool, Jason. You kind of get to take advantage of like a rare time that you don't know much. I wonder if your experience will be notably different than on an investigation that you have done all the interviews and research for. Do you think it'll be a little different?
I'm hoping so.
Yeah, I think it will. I mean,
Yeah.
that's where like personal experiences and your own psychic abilities, whether you think you have them or not, they can maybe come out a little bit. So that's
Yeah,
pretty
because
awesome.
when you know things, you're always like, okay, so did I see that, or if I did, you just
Have I
think
heard about that like 20 million times? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're going to be at the bridge tender now. Real quick, you guys have investigated as a team at the Starry Night Inn in Seaside, and then hosted investigations last year at the Oregon Ghost Conference. I wanted to bring up with you guys tonight because Jason, you were standing right next to me when I think I had an experience in the Starry
Yes.
Night Inn of you were getting ready to change, tell everybody to change floors, move around. You and I were at one end of a hallway, and at the other end was a door to one of the rooms. The people that were in there investigating came out, but they were all standing in a line in the hallway and then kind of back into the bedroom and started talking about what they thought they were experiencing in there. And while she's talking, I'm seeing a person sitting on the end of the bed in that bedroom, leaning forward, listening as if, she was in there as a part of the investigation. And then you had everybody move floors. Well, they just shut the door. And I was like, well, wait, what about the person sitting on the bed? And they're like, well, it's just us in here. And I remember going in there and, I didn't really feel much.
Do you remember which room that was?
I think it was 4. It was
okay. So 4 is at the top of the stairs to the left.
Okay, so then it was at the other end of the hallway.
Okay, that would be 6, I believe.
Tub?
Yeah, it might have had. It was just if you're at the top of the stairs, you got the room right next to you, and if you look towards the end of the hallway, it's that room.
Okay, yeah, that'd be 6, I believe.
Yeah. So I mean, this gal looked real. I totally didn't even think it was a ghost until they shut the door and then said, well, it was just the 4 of us. But there was 5 people in there. So I just thought that was I still question myself about that one because I didn't have the feelings that I normally have when something strong like that coming through. So I kind of questioned myself, but I mean, I know I saw a woman there. What were some other things that came out of that night, if you can remember?
From the investigation that we had with the Oregon Ghost Conference, I don't believe we had a whole lot of personal experiences that night. Do you remember anything, Mariah, from that night anyway?
No, I don't really think we had too many. I think there were a couple of people that kind of saw some things out of the corner of their eye, just kind of the typical thing you get, but not really anything too memorable on that one.
Yeah. Okay. But you guys have investigated there otherwise,
Yes.
on a separate investigation with a lot less commotion going on, like we were talking earlier.
Yeah.
How did that investigation go?
Well, Mariah has a pretty good story about that one.
So it was the first night, and we had been investigating for probably 30 minutes or so. And we'd done some EVP time, and then we were kind of just conversating, and we decided to take like a 20-minute break. And Jason and I were actually staying at the inn for the weekend because we were doing a Halloween thing with Jen, one of the owners of the inn. Okay. And I ran up to our room to use the bathroom. And our bathroom door, we were in room 4. So the bathroom door for that one, it kind of slides and then has a little hook.
I remember that one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And she had a table and some chairs right outside the bathroom. And they were pushed normal. So, you could slide the door open. I went in, and when I went to come out, I couldn't open the door, but I could open it like just wide enough to peek my head out and see that a chair had been pushed up behind the door against the wall. So I couldn't open the door anymore. And prior to that, I had been like, hey, if you want to interact with me, you have permission as long as you do it nicely. Just like, don't hurt me or, be nice, but I'm open to interaction. And so apparently they were excited about that.
Actually, what she said was, if you want to mess with the people who are staying in room 4, it's okay. That's what she said.
Specifically, hoping that they would mess with him, of course.
Yes.
Oh boy. Well, that's so. I mean, when you guys looked at the chair, did you guys put, use an EMF meter on it? Like, did you see if, any energy was there? Like, how do you think the door or the chair could have been pushed there?
We really don't know because there was nobody upstairs but her.
Right. Everyone else had gone downstairs or gone outside to like smoke. and it wasn't a chair on wheels. It was just a normal chair, and we had no idea. We had some equipment in the room. I think we checked the EMF around the room. We didn't see anything. Of course, that night we only had a recorder in the room, so
Right.
it's never when you have a camera in the room that anything good happens. Of course, we put one in the night after because we did the next night too, and didn't get anybody trapping me in the bathroom that night. But
Right. So it's definitely like an unexplained. That's weird. How could that have happened?
Right.
Michelle's commenting to your little friend there, Jason. Hi, Lily. Where'd you go? You shoved her off to the side there.
Lily heard her sissy, and she was like,
Yeah.
Had to get out of there. Well, you guys have, what you were just talking about. You never have a camera when something's going. Well, that's not true, because at the Walker Ames house, you guys caught that interesting video on the second floor of the house.
We did,
of an entity coming basically from the other room across the hall into the room with the camera. So that's not necessarily true. Sometimes you do get lucky.
Yeah, we got lucky with that one.
Yeah, and I think anybody who catches video or a good photo of something, I mean, go buy a lottery ticket.
Right.
Yeah.
When you get that. Well, I thought the Starry Night Inn was really cool. It was a neat location.
It really is. I like it.
Yeah, and
awesome environment.
And it's got kind of a weird and somewhat unknown history of, was it always there? Did it get moved there?
Yeah, I believe it was moved there, but other than that, there was a fire, so they don't have much history.
Right.
On it, so. Yeah.
And we got Stacy checking in. Hey, Stacy.
There she is. Hey, Stacy.
Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. I had a good time investigating there, and I might try and hit one there this weekend at the Oregon Ghost Conference. You guys going to have a table there?
Yes, we have a booth. Yeah.
Okay, so everybody that's going to be going, make sure you stop by Big River Paranormal booth. Are you guys, I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but are you guys looking for team members at all?
Yeah, we do occasionally look for new team members. On our website, if you go to bigriverparanormal.com, there's a contact us space. You can go to that, and if you need assistance with an investigation or something, you can fill out a form there, and there's a form for team member application there as well.
Okay. Do you guys, have you ever gotten team members from a ghost conference?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we met Aaron and Barbara through doing a lot of these things, and I think them coming to our events and meeting us I think we met them at the conference, or it might have been an event that we hosted. Yeah. But it definitely brings in a lot of great people that we're able to meet and hang out with.
Yeah, I think it's a great place for, people who are interested but don't know what to do.
Yeah.
What do I do next? I want to do more. What do I do next? And you guys, part of your team, I know there's Boise, you guys got Portland, Vancouver, you guys kind of cover the Northwest.
Yeah.
Do you guys do like educational stuff as well?
Yeah, we
any
often do
educational
that.
Events. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, we like to do stuff like that. We recently Mariah and I did a presentation in Camas. What was it, last October?
Mm-hmm.
We did that where we talked about our team and how we investigate and that kind of stuff, because there's a lot of people out there that are wanting to get involved in paranormal investigation but have only seen ghost adventures. So we like to teach them the correct, ethical, and logical way of investigating, as opposed to just calling out demons and running if they appear.
Yeah. Have you ever run into, that makes me think, have you ever run into a wall on an investigation?
I don't think so, but I guess I probably will soon. I mean, now that you said something.
Yeah,
sure. I'm sure I jinxed it. No, I've done it before. Like, when you're just in total darkness and you're not looking through a camera with IR or something, and you're just kind of feeling your way through. Yeah, it's happened. Knock on wood, Jason, because then it'll be this weekend. There's
lots of embarrassing things that happen on investigations, when you're sitting there in the quiet and your body's making noises and You got to
that's
claim it.
Yeah. Well, I say that up front. Like if I'm leading an investigation, like
Yeah.
I tell people, there'll be no judgment from me. If your stomach growls or any other bodily functions, just if I say,
Yeah.
did someone blank, just claim it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because usually my stomach starts rumbling and stuff, after about an hour or so, and it starts making noises, and sometimes sounds like a couple of whales, making weird noises.
We have
It happens.
Yeah, we have a strict no Mexican food before investigation rule for that reason. Yeah.
Especially when we
Well,
don't have a bathroom at our location.
exactly. Yes, that's good team planning there, guys. That's
It is.
good team leadership there. Keep that morale up. Gosh, okay. Well, we're halfway through the show. We're going to take a quick station break. And when we come back, I've got some fun questions for you guys, just about investigating and you guys investigating together, things like that. And we also wanted, Jason, I want to talk about your new podcast, Hassling the Paranormal, as well. And that way we can get some people over checking that out. But we're here on WLTK-DB.com, and we're on all the socials under WLTK-DB. We're going to take a quick station break, and we'll be right back with Jason and Mariah from Big River Paranormal. Stick around. Okay, we're going to try that again. Here we go.
Yeah?
We're going to try that again. I think the internet goblins tried to get me. Hang on.
Looking for a holistic solution? Look no further than LimestreetWellness.com. Lime Street Wellness is a full-service Reiki therapy center offering in-person and distant Reiki sessions. Additionally, Lime Street Wellness is committed to helping clients co-create healthier outcomes with hypnosis, QHHT, and intuitive advice. Lime Street Wellness is committed to helping all that are seeking to co-create better health, peace of mind, and greater freedom. Reiki Master Kevin Mackey uses energy medicine, hypnosis, mindfulness, and intuitive guidance to assist in uncovering, understanding, and removing any blocks or energy cords or mental mindsets that may be intruding and causing needless suffering. Visit Lime Street Wellness today at LimestreetWellness.com. That's LimestreetWellness.com.
All right, we're back. I don't know what's going on. That's what happens when I'm running the ship on the ones and twos. Anyways, we're back on the Paranormal Pete Show, episode 97, with good friends of the show, Jason and Mariah Hassler from Big River Paranormal down in Oregon. And go to bigriverparanormal.com and check out their website. They got a lot of great information and a lot of case history from prior investigations. And I noticed when you kind of go through that stuff, when you're looking at it, there's a lot of places you repeatedly go to. Talk a little bit about the benefits of repeating and being able to go back to a location.
You want to take that one, Mariah?
We really like to be able to wrap up with our clients. So the first main thing is we don't want to come into a location, stir up their ghost, and then go away. So if we can come back and we can do another investigation, that's always really great. Also, it gives us a chance to kind of validate some of our evidence that we got in the first investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it gives us a chance to set up equipment in different spots. If maybe we had an actual personal experience, maybe we can set up an equipment there. So it kind of gives us a chance to change a couple things and recheck in with the client.
Yeah, we get to see if we can recreate any evidence that we found as well. So that way we can find, hey, is there a logical reason for what we found that we thought might have been paranormal, but now that we're back at the location, we can try to figure out what exactly it was instead of just going, it's a ghost.
Or or it validates the experience that you guys had, And plus, I mean, it seems like with some of these locations, you've got to be, creating, like, there's like this database of evidence and experiences that validates the history. Mariah, you do a lot of the historical research. When you're going back repeatedly to a place, are you finding you learn something new every time that you're going back to a location, or is it, do you usually get through the history pretty quick and there's really not much more to be discovered?
There's always more to learn about a location. It's just about getting the right resources to do so. I'm always trying to recheck in with those places when I get the opportunity. When I get the chance, I like to go to the historical societies. Sometimes our locations are a little too far away for me to be able to do that. But when I get the chance, it's nice to be able to get on site and actually look at what they have, because they have a lot more information than just the internet, which is sometimes not accurate. So,
Right. Well, and even sometimes you got to be careful what you read too, based on the source too.
right.
What's like the first thing you try and look for historically? Like what really gets you going for an investigation and doing historical research?
Well, if we're talking about non-residential cases, things that we're
Sure.
like looking for a case,
Sure.
I really like more of like a darker history. A lot of the times, the place that has the most amount of history, I feel like gives us more of a chance to find things. Those places that are routinely investigated, that are just packed full. Like, the Walker Ames house, it's not a dark history, but it has a lot of history and it has a lot of experiences. So I think those places are the most fun to dive into, because I want to try and recreate things I've heard or debunk things I've heard.
Yeah. Have
With the big
you
twist.
yeah, right. Have you in any of your cases, like, have you had that moment where you found something historically to validate an experience or maybe a name that was captured on EVP? Like, have you ever had that yet, where you've been able to really connect a dot with history?
I wish. I've been on the team such a short amount of time. I joined right in the beginning of COVID. So with me actually doing like historical research and actually investigating as an actual member of a team, I haven't been able to make that connection yet, but I'm always trying.
Yeah, it's coming.
Always the goal.
It's coming. You'll get it soon
Yeah.
enough. And
For me, I find
go ahead, Jason.
I found some things like to disprove before we even get to a location. Like if you do enough research on certain places, you'll find that, say, like, they have all these rumors about, this person killed themselves here or jumped out of the window or whatever, and it's really the bartender who made it up.
That sounds
Stuff like that.
Castle in Port Townsend.
I don't know what you're talking about, Pete.
That's yeah, and that happens. People are people.
Yeah.
And so, Jason, I got a question for you.
Sure.
Looking ahead to this next year, where do you see these guys going? There you go. I wore that just for you.
I changed my hat here just a minute ago. Get a different Niner hat for you. But let's see. They're in Gino's world. Let's see. About two or three games under 500, depending on how the draft goes.
All right, we'll see. Not very good. And I think this is in regards to me asking you, Mariah, this comment about making a connection with history and experiences. Michael saying he did recently at Jefferson's Monticello. Interesting. Well, we'll have to hear about that when I get Michael on the show. No, but more of a serious show question. Where do you, looking ahead, you've been on the team for 5 years, and Mariah, you can add on to this as well. This could be for you too. Where do you hope to see yourself and the paranormal field in 5 years?
Well, I put a lot of thought into it, actually, and really one of the things that we do as a team and we like to do, I want to do a lot more educational stuff. A lot more yeah, like teaching classes and that stuff, kind of stuff. Maybe doing like I did a town hall meeting in Goldendale, Washington, where people came and told us their ghost stories, and we talked about how we investigate and just kind of teaching people how to, use logic and that kind of stuff before they just jump into being scared, and helping people not be scared of the paranormal. Because let's be honest, I mean, like, it can be scary in the moment, but looking back, you're not going to get hurt. So as long as you're smart, especially.
Yeah, as long as you're respectful, and yeah. And Mariah, what do you think?
Yeah, I would really say that education piece is really important. Really try to focus on helping people feel comfortable with the paranormal. We don't like to push that fear narrative. I mean, there is always an aspect that you need to protect yourself and you need to go in strong minded and know what you're doing. But we really like to teach people, especially who want to investigate, how to do it the right way, because there's so many teams out there doing it the wrong way that give us all a bad name. They go in there and they're disrespectful to the client and to the spirits, and that's just going to make them not want to have another team who wants to come in and give them the proper investigation that they deserve.
Yeah, it only is in the efforts of advancing themselves and not the field.
Right.
Exactly.
They don't want to get actual evidence. And I mean, sometimes that negative provoking can get good evidence, but for what? Like, is it worth it?
And I'll be talking about that in my presentation on Friday at the Oregon Ghost Conference about provoking and what it can do to spirits. And I think what I'll be talking about will hopefully make people think twice about doing that and the effects that it has on those on the other side. I love the educational component. I mean, that's so important. That's like something that should be like a staple in every area, every part of the country where there's a paranormal team. And education and outreach it's crucial. And Mariah said helping people not be scared of the paranormal. What's like two things you would tell somebody to help them not be scared about the paranormal?
Well, we like to tell people, in our experience, 9 times out of 10, if you're having an experience that might seem scary or quote unquote aggressive, maybe someone thinks they're getting pushed or something, we like to tell people think maybe less towards like the crazy demon aspect and more towards, if you were a jerk in life, maybe that person that passed on is going to be a jerk in death. So maybe you just have a jerk ghost in your house, and it's maybe not great, but we don't need to be terrified and think that, these horrible things are happening and you're going to be possessed. And so we try to make people feel comfortable in their homes again.
Well, yeah. And when you're scared in your home, it's like, where else can you go to feel safe?
Right.
You got, it should be home. And I love that thinking, because that's what I do in my tours and investigations. I'm trying to let people know the human connection of spirits, that they're people once. Everybody in their life knows an a-hole. Everybody can name one, right? So why wouldn't there be that on the other side too?
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody knows an a-hole. And McKenna's supporting the right team. Boo Niners, go Seahawks. That's right.
There's going to be a lot of sad people next season for you guys.
Yeah.
I'm so happy I'm not a football fan.
It's fun. It's all in good spirit. It's fun just to harass each other. So I love the education component. You guys see, wanting to do more of that. And it sounds like maybe you guys were going to almost say the living are more scary on an investigation than the paranormal.
This is very true. Yeah. Anytime we've had a scary situation, it's been the client's fault, not the ghost. Yeah.
Or the teammate that's out for revenge for getting a hard time or whatever.
Thankfully, we haven't had that one yet, but yeah, it's probably coming.
Yeah, right.
You maybe. They love me.
Oh, there you. And you sounds like you'll keep it that way.
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool that you guys are on a team together. You're working alongside each other. What's Jason for you? What is it like bringing on your daughter onto the team as an official member?
It was not my idea. No, I mean,
It wasn't.
it actually wasn't. It was, I believe it was Tracy's idea. Really, what it was is at the time we were going through some changes with the team, and it's something that Mariah's been passionate about her whole life, and it was kind of out of a necessity that we asked her to be on the team at the time because what we needed is, and I'm sure you understand this, when you have people coming on your team, they just think it's going to be lots of fun all the time. And when paranormal investigating is not fun most of the time, it's work and boring. So people dive in, they think this is going to be great, and it's not, and then they bounce. So what we needed was a dedicated team member. And we knew that she would be, and she has been, and she's been doing really good. And it's a lot of fun to be able to do these fun adventures with my daughter too. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah. What's your favorite part, Mariah?
I get to harass him for one. I just get to be another part of his life. I get to harass him, but it is just really great to be able to do these things together. And we go on a lot of different trips and see a lot of different parts of our area and our beautiful place we live. Mm-hmm. And he's really helping me grow as an investigator, and it's been really awesome to be able to learn from him too. In this area.
Yeah. Michael's saying that's very cool. I think it is too. Maybe someday I'll get to investigate with my girls. Someday, long from now, but no, that's really cool. And do you guys ever feel like, have you ever been in a situation on an investigation where you like, because you're so connected, spiritually together and your souls and everything, do you guys like come up with the same ideas? Like, or
a lot of times,
have you both been like looked at each other, and like, hey, we should do this? Does that happen?
Well, a lot of times when you're doing, and I'm sure you know about this too, it happens to you probably, when you're doing an investigation and you've been there a little while, you can kind of feel when the spirits are like, okay, we're done with you. And both Mariah and I pick up on that very well, and it's like all the time we'll come to each other and be, okay, it's time to wrap it up. At the same time, we both can feel that same thing, and it's kind of funny because we always do it at the same time. We always, hey, I think it's about time to wrap it up at the same time. It's like you.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think it'd be interesting over time to see how that kind of connection grows and what ideas come out of that. It's really cool. I think that's really neat that you guys can do that. I want to ask a question about. Let's see. You both have said you had childhood experiences. We're getting a little low on time, but if each of you could give, one childhood experience that you had that kind of left an impact on you.
You go first.
Okay. Well, let's see. I had quite a few, but
quickly.
Let's see. Yeah. There was an experience when I was a teenager. I was in my bed watching TV. I was supposed to be asleep. Had the TV on. It was late, and my TV shut off, and then it came back on, and it started to do that a few times, and I was kind of weirded out about it. And then my closet door started to shake and open, and things started flying around my room, and I couldn't move. I was stuck on my bed, and I don't know what was going on. I'm just kind of like freaking out. And next thing I know, the door opens up and everything just stops. And my brother grabs me and yanks me out of bed. And before I know it, I'm halfway up the stairs to his room. He heard what was going on, and we just kind of stayed up all night in his room going, what in the...
Yeah, what in the bleep was that?
Yeah, pretty much. So that was kind of like, and I have no explanation for what happened that night. I was probably 13 or so, and like, to me, I just kind of think sometimes when you're not acknowledging the presence of a spirit, they will make it known that they're there, and maybe that's what was going on.
Yeah, totally. Very well. Have you looked back on it and like now that you're older, do you like look back on it with a different perspective? I mean, that sounds like a crazy experience where stuff's flying around, stuff's moving, your electronics are going nuts. I mean, that's like, I don't know what I would do, but you know, I mean,
I was
that's,
frozen. I didn't know what. I don't know if I was like frozen in fear or what. But Richard came in and just grabbed my arm and jerked me out of bed. Next thing I was halfway up the stairs, and we were just kind of
wow,
sitting there going, "What was that?" But yeah,
wow.
I mean, it's not something you can really. And you know, you're a kid, so you're thinking, well, you
Yeah.
know,
Did
I
you
must have
live,
imagined.
did you live in like an old house or something,
It was
or?
an older house, but yeah, I mean, we had some experiences there. We had more experiences in the house we lived before that, but that was one of the most memorable experiences I had as a kid that made me go, there must be something.
Yeah, it's almost like a spirit poltergeist. Not
Yeah,
not
which is
not
a,
one that you've manifested, you know, but
yeah.
to be able to move stuff around like that, that's interesting. Have you had experienced that in, you know, through the years? Have you ever experienced that again in your, like when you're
No,
in your room or anything like that? Really, just that one time? That's crazy.
nothing like that. I mean, you see things or whatever, hear things, but like nothing that crazy, no.
Yeah, with all the different kinds of activity going on, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and I wasn't even using drugs, so you know.
Yeah, right. Well, that's crazy. Mariah, what about you? What's, you know, an impactful childhood experience that you've had?
I really had experiences when I was very young. Like, I was always talking to people that my family couldn't see. I used to have an old man in my bedroom that I used to talk to all night long and would annoy my parents about. And like my grandmother, her mother passed away before I was born, so I never got to meet her. But I used to tell my grandma all the time that she wanted me, or she liked it when I would wear pretty dresses. And that wasn't really my thing. But her mother always really liked dresses and used to tell my grandmother how pretty she was in dresses. And I knew things I probably shouldn't have known. And so it's just something
Yeah.
that's always been in my life. So,
Yeah, you're always, children are more perceptive.
mm.
You know, the younger you are, the more perceptive to things you are. And do you exhibit or use any psychic abilities?
I wouldn't really say I have psychic abilities. I would probably say I'm sensitive. I don't really see things. A lot of the times, if anything, I will feel more of the emotion or feel the energy that's around me, that kind of thing. Sometimes I can feel other emotion, but not really something I use while I investigate.
Okay. Yeah, that, and you don't have to. It sounds like, you know, if you were that perceptive and having those kinds of experiences that were vivid like that, that maybe, you know, you do have some abilities and they're in there waiting for you.
Yeah, I definitely don't have the experiences I did as a child anymore, but
Yeah.
it's more about feelings and physical feelings that I feel.
Yeah. And that's important in, you know, in investigation. Like, you know, it's your own built-in safety net of like feeling when you shouldn't be in a place. You know,
Right,
that's really
trust your
what
gut.
it's, yeah, that's really what it's good for.
Yes.
And that's what it was built for. You know,
Right.
human evolution and making sure that we're not the prey. You know, that sort of thing's built into us. So very interesting. Um, and have you ever looked back, tried to find out the identity, the name of the old man that was in your room? Have you ever thought about that?
I've talked to lots of family members. People have ideas, but the description I had as a kid didn't really describe anybody that we
Yeah.
knew. So it
If
was either
I
tied to like the property or maybe
Yeah.
somewhere further along the line or
if I remember right, it was we suspected it was a guy that lived there before us that had passed away. We don't know if he passed away there, but there was, I believe it was a gentleman who passed away, and his wife was still alive, but she had moved,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
that's where.
He was always very weird. I have a very clear picture of what he looked like in my mind. So it
Yeah.
would be interesting. I wish there was a way to see him again, you know?
Yeah.
Go
Did
back
he
and
did he have did he have kind of a cleft, like a cleft lip sort of thing, but not really, not
Oh,
very distinct? Do you remember that?
I don't really remember that. I remember him always having straw in his mouth and he was always wearing suspenders and he always had a hat
Yeah.
on.
I'm getting the name Walter for that, so I wonder if his name was Walter or something.
I wish there was a way to find
Not that
out.
you could ever find out.
I know.
I mean, you can go look at the history of the house. You go look at the
Yeah.
history of the ownership of the house, and maybe
Sure, you're there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Walt.
I can try that.
I think it's a guy named
Yeah.
Walt. Yeah. So, Jason, let's talk about your podcast. We got a few minutes left here.
Okay.
You've started a podcast, Hassling the Paranormal. How's that going for you?
It's going pretty good. I got about 14 episodes in now. So pretty much what I do is I just have a guest on every show, and we just talk about something different paranormal wise, whether it be ghosts or Sasquatch or aliens or whatever. So I've had some pretty unique guests and some fun guests, and it's been pretty good.
Right on. Where can people find your podcast?
Well, I'm on Apple, Spotify, all the major platforms.
Okay.
iHeartRadio.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm putting this out in the chat here. Oops. Pardon me while I type. I cannot multitask, guys. Yes. What drove you to do the podcast? I think everyone's got their own story of why they wanted to do this. What's yours?
I always, when I was growing up, I wanted to work in radio, and it just didn't happen. And it was just something that everybody can do now, do podcasts now. And I just thought it'd be great to do a paranormal podcast. And that way I can get to talk to people with different mindsets about different stuff and learn different perspectives. And so
Yes.
I get all sorts of different people on there. Even like I'll have people on that maybe I think their topic is just nuts. But, like everybody has something to offer, right? So,
Yeah.
you listen and you learn something every once in a while if you just listen. So I'm not really good at listening all the time, but
I think you bring up a great point. I hear a lot of people, there's kind of a sentiment of, oh, everyone does a podcast now. Well,
yeah.
one of the things that I think has been really cool, I'm, on episode 97, and like I didn't think I'd make it past episode 10, and I move on to something
Right.
else.
Yeah.
But what I really dig about it is, like you said, hearing other points of view, other perspectives, different opinions, and just learning. Like, I feel like I've learned so much about psychic work, Bigfoot, all this stuff that we talk
Mhm.
about on the shows. And I think that's one of the coolest parts of all of it. What's, like, what do you see yourself doing with? I mean, you just gonna keep rolling and keep learning and sharing, and like, what's the
Yeah,
future? What's the future of the podcast? Where do you see it?
I definitely plan on keep going with it because I'm only at episode 14, so I have a ways to go till I'm at 97 for sure. But one of the things I enjoy about it is there's a lot of what people outside the paranormal community don't realize is there's a lot of ego in the paranormal community sometimes. And
Totally.
so when I have people on from different teams or whatever, different outlooks, we get to talking and realize that maybe we do have some of the same belief systems, and it's fun to share and get together and chat, and just it's a lot more fun when we're sharing information as opposed to keeping it to ourselves, because a lot of people like that, like some teams even will go in and investigate places and lay claim to those places and be like, this is our space, nobody gets to investigate here but us, and they'll work that out with the client, which is just dumb because they're afraid that somebody's going to find something different. And for me, that's just talking to other people and working together and learning together. And it, like I don't know much about Sasquatch and UFOs and that kind of stuff, but I have guests on that do, and I learn a lot about that, and piques interest. And
Yeah,
so it's a lot of fun.
same thing here. Just the learning is really cool. Well, I hope, I wish you all the luck in the world with the podcast, and hint, I'd like to come on.
Yeah,
there
I'll have you on soon.
But I'd love to be on there. I think what it does, like your show, my show, all the shows on this station, all the podcasts out there, if anything, it's getting people talking, which I think the world has been missing. And yes, podcasts like this, it is still virtual, but you're having conversation, and that's what needs to happen out in the world, the virtual world, everything, more people talking, more people sharing ideas, more people being able to disagree in a professional way, or a civil way. It just needs that. So I commend you for getting that going, and I look forward to being on there sometime. And again, that's Hassling the Paranormal, and you can find that everywhere you stream audio podcasts from. And just like this one too, just look up WLTK-DB, and you can find the station anywhere. I've got a Podbean account. You can just look me up on there. So we just about getting the word out, right? The good word in the paranormal, like you guys are talking with the education and spreading what you guys have found to be credible ways to investigate, credible ways to log evidence, credible ways to capture the evidence and report it. Yes, we need to get more of that stuff out there to really kind of show people the real side of paranormal research, not the excited entertainment side of paranormal research. Is that an oxymoron?
Exactly.
But no, I think it's great what you guys' team is doing, and again, I'm also grateful for the help you guys bring to Port Gamble every year, and really appreciate it. And I hope that this weekend at the Oregon Ghost Conference, something cool happens at the bridge tender.
Someone's gonna run into a wall.
I want to see Jason get stumped. Yeah. Well, I want to see him get stumped on something that happens up there. And I'm excited to hear how that goes. And hopefully I can join you on one of those. Michael's saying great job, everyone. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Michael. Thanks everybody for listening and watching every week. It's very humbling. The support for the show. I really appreciate it. I'm grateful for my guests, Jason and Mariah, tonight from Big River Paranormal. Remember, that's bigriverparanormal.com if you want to learn more about what they do and how they do it. Great place to learn. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys this weekend.
We'll see you Friday.
Yeah. See you on Friday at the Oregon Ghost Conference. Everybody, that's OregonGhostConference.com. It's in Seaside, Oregon. If you're looking for an excuse to go to the Oregon coast, well, this is a good one. Or if you live down there, or just you're into the paranormal and you didn't know about this conference, I don't know how you couldn't know about it, because I've been talking about it every week for the last year. So hopefully you can go check it out. And Katie, there's Katie, great friend of the show, great conversation. Hi, Katie. Thanks so much. Appreciate that, Katie. But again, grateful for all the people listening each week. We'll see everybody at the Oregon Ghost Conference this Friday. Remember, I will not be on the air next week, but I'll be back in April as we get to episode 100 here pretty soon. And boy, I really better get cracking on that one, because I'm going to make it a big blowout. We'll see. Hopefully debut a new song for my band. All kinds of fun stuff. But thank you guys again, Jason and Mariah, for coming on. Always love talking to you guys. It's always fun, and look forward to harassing Jason. You and your brother. Is your brother going to be there?
He will be. Yes.
Yeah.
A double harassment. All right.
Many hasslers in one building.
I love it. There's going to be a lot of harassment going on, but
a lot of hassling. Yes.
Yes. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Everyone, reminder: check out Hassling the Paranormal. Look that up anywhere you stream your audio from. Check out Jason's podcast. And with that, we'll see everyone at the Oregon Ghost Conference this weekend, or I'll see you back here on WLTK-DB.com in a couple of weeks. Be sure to take time tonight, tomorrow, this weekend, to take a moment to be present, be with the ones you're with, be truly there in the moment, not worrying about what's coming tomorrow, quit thinking about what happened yesterday, but being there in the actual moment. That's what it's all about, is being present. So take time, and I wish everyone a good rest of the week, including you too. And we'll see everybody in a couple weeks here. Take care.
Thanks.
Now I gotta do the technical thing here. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you later. Take care.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.